Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday. It's our second Friday of January, and all the stores are having huge sales, huge markdowns, especially at stores like TJ Maxx and Ross and Marshalls. And I know the famous 49-cent Ross tags will be in effect here. I don't know if it's now or next week, but I know that that's a thing. And today's topic is tracking those KPIs on the Google Sheet. It is something that Lucy and I shared with all of you last week, exactly what it is that we do. And we have now got our sheet ready for all of you to be able to get one of your own if you want to use it. And we can go through it and show and demonstrate exactly how it works. And that's our main topic of the day. Good morning, Lucy. How are you this morning?
It's Kevin okay?
Oh, you hear him in there coughing?
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole world. Yeah, that's just his morning cough.
Oh my God. Okay, poor guy. Okay, so let's not have anybody go on camera. I stopped by to get eye drops for I think I might have pink eye. Anyhow, I stopped by to get eye drops, and my Bartell's is now bought by Rite Aid, and I picked up 90% off Christmas and some 75% off Christmas. Some for personal, some for resale, but definitely checking out all of those sales. Other than getting over this cold, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Great. I'm feeling good these days. Getting sleep. Sleep makes a big difference, let me tell you. You know, when you have sleeping problems like I always do, it really takes a toll on how effective you are each day. And now that I'm getting better sleep, I'm feeling a lot better.
Doesn't that make a difference? Yeah, I've been on Dayquil, NyQuil, so I've been out. I take my NyQuil and then drool all over myself, and then
Yeah, but it's not the same kind of sleep. Even though NyQuil gives you that deep sleep when you're sick, I don't know about you, but the next day, of course, you're still sick, one, but it makes me feel like groggy all day. Like I just feel like I'm half there. I'm half checked in.
That's what. Yeah, you got to take the Dayquil and then like 3 cups of coffee to get through the day
to feel like kind of normal. Yeah. Good morning, April and Reno and Eminem. Good morning, you guys.
All right, so there was a couple of things we wanted to go over. We wanted to go over the dashboard, and we wanted to go over mainly for Brandy, because Brandy had asked on year-end what you're going to need to pull for your CPA for inventory reports.
Yeah.
Right? So you want me to do inventory reports? Because I'm on that page right now. That could be, it doesn't take very long. Doesn't take very long to pull. But let's see here if I can share my screen. Good morning, Nicolette. How are you guys? How's everybody out there? What are you guys all doing?
Are you guys hitting those stores, getting those clearance deals? Those January clearance deals? Sometimes they're nice to hold on to until next year.
That's what I did with this stuff yesterday. I got some things, and I bought it on instinct because one, it was 50 cents a box. So I'm like, okay, I'm out $16. Ooh. But I went and I looked it up, of course, last night before going to bed, and a 3-pack of them go for $12. So I'm like, okay.
Nice. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice numbers. No, close though. Close. All right. So for year-end inventory, all you're going to do, and I've done a video on this before, is you're going to go to your reports, the Amazon fulfillment reports, and you're going to go to your inventory. And there was 2 that I have done before, and it's like monthly inventory or FBA inventory. Inventory ledger sometimes works. It's one of your inventory pages, and it's the one that has all the things to it. And if you're doing any sort of state sales taxes, or you want to know your value of your inventory, you're going to go pull that inventory report. Now, this is the part that's a little tricky. Once you pull the inventory and you know that you have 25 coffee mugs throughout 3 facilities, you need to know that that coffee mug costs you $3, and then you need to kind of put in the cells because it's an Excel file that comes out. It might be CSV that you put into an Excel file. And then you're going to do 25 times $3 a piece to get $75 worth of cost of goods mugs. So you have to do a little bit of math, but it doesn't take that long if you know your cost of goods. And that's for anybody that's not using Inventory Lab. If you use Inventory Lab, you just go pull the value of your inventory, and it's a quick little report because they track all that. So all it's doing is taking, you have 25 mugs times $3 a piece, you have $75 worth of value there on cost of goods at the warehouse. So end of the year stuff does not have to be tricky. My eBay stuff is all in a Google sheet. So I do that monthly on monthly inventory. So for me, at the end of the year, I need to know how much inventory do I have for eBay here? How much inventory have I paid for that's not shipped to Amazon? So if I've recently bought something that I just don't have listed yet in the Amazon system, and then I go and I pull from Inventory Lab. But if I didn't have Inventory Lab, I just go pull an inventory report, put it into an Excel file, and then put the cost of goods into everything, and then have Excel do the calculations because that makes it easier for that. Why is my computer's being weird? There we go. All right. Now, dashboard. Is that what we're going?
Yes, we're going over that dashboard and giving everybody a full walkthrough of exactly how it works.
We got both Aprils in today.
April.
All right. So for the dashboard, this is something that we played around. Like, we've always had KPIs and stuff. And then this last year I made a dashboard, and I hadn't gotten everything quite put together this year, but we're ready to go for 2024. We have it set up so that you can buy it. I think we're charging $5. So, if you want it, it's $5. It's, I don't know. We were cool with $5, right?
Yep.
Did you have any input on that? I left it I thought about locking cells down, and I did not lock cells down. So what I did instead was I color coordinated. So if it has a background to it, you don't put anything into it. That means it's linked to something else. I put instructions over here too. So this is what the dashboard looks like. You can zoom out a little bit more if you want. Zoom however you want. That's why I kind of left it customizable. I hate getting downloadables and then not being able to move things around because they've locked it down for me. So I don't know. I left it unlocked for y'all. But if you feel like you need it locked down, you can have somebody lock it for you. Anyhow, I like to track my yearly sales, throughout the year. And then I like to see my lifetime sales on there, and then a total lifetime sales there. Can you guys see? Maybe I got to go back to 75%. Inventory Lab shipments. This is a page that I've used for like 4 years, maybe, where at the end of a batch, and you're sending that batch into Inventory Lab, I track all those numbers. So you know how it says your cost of goods for this batch was $100 and your profit's going to be $80, and you're sending in 25 items. All of those numbers I track on a sheet, and then it gets tallied up here. So that way I can track production and performance over time and see, did we have a good month? Did we have a bad month? Because a lot of when you're calculating how much money you want to make, it's either based off of how much profit you're sending in or how many items you're sending in. You could do it either way. If you know your average profit per item is $5 and you send in 100 items, then your potential profit is $500 there. And if your sell-through rate is 80%, then you take 500 times 80, and that's what you should be making in the next, 30 to 60 days from that batch. So it's just really good to help when you're forecasting sales and how much you need to make, etc. Then we've got inventory. I like to track my average sales price, profit, and cost of goods, which is all from that worksheet as well. What else do I got? I left a bunch that's just like other income, but it's tied to that cell. So as soon as you enter in like Macari income or Poshmark income, that's going to populate over here and then track your profits for that. A lot of us run other streams of income, and that's kind of where this dashboard came from, because we were like, okay, Amazon and Inventory Lab, you can pull just about any report you want. I mean, it's really easy to pull reports and then just focus on that. But if you start adding in other streams of income, there's no dashboard or great place out there to look at all of that. And I know you run Xero, I run QuickBooks, and that helps a little bit, but It doesn't track my feedback or other KPIs that I want to track.
We want to track. That's right. And then what I did on my sheet, I know we're not quite there, but I just want to touch upon the other selling platforms is I also sell on Etsy and I also sell on eBay. So below on the Google Sheet, you see all the tabs. You can then create another tab of your own just for you to keep notes on. And I keep notes where I have links to get to the report page in Etsy. So it's just the direct link. And I have a link already put on my notes that direct me to my link for my eBay sales. So at the end of the month, I can plug in my numbers on this Google Sheet here.
Oh, that's a clever idea.
Mm-hmm.
I have all of my links in one bookmark. So if I go up here to my bookmarks, I have all my month end, everything that I need at the month end is like whatever, how many tabs, and it just opens them all up, and then I can go tab by tab and pull whatever. That's clever though. I put P&L profits here. If you want to track your P&L profits, again, customizable to whatever you want to track. A lot of us use Inventory Lab to track your P&L. I use QuickBooks. Tina uses Xero. So whatever you want to do there. And then, like she said, eBay, Etsy. You can even put the links just down in here if you wanted to. Talk in there. And then business value. That is something that is often used if you need to report things or like, I always like to know that if I walked away right now, how much is my business worth? So this business value, and you'll see on the other page, it takes all the inventory I have in the office, all the inventory I have in Amazon, and tallies it up to how much my business is worth at that time. And then down here, we've got a couple, see how these are blank. So this is something that you'd fill in. I don't do this as religiously monthly that I should. I need to go in and fill in.
And it's so easy to do because storage fees for Inventory Lab users, I realize some people don't use Inventory Lab, but I know the majority of us do. When you are in your Inventory Lab account, when you're looking under your reports page, you can type in storage fee and it will populate for you that month's storage fee and long-term storage fee charges.
I am going to have to refamiliarize myself because I was going to the report page just like the inventory and doing it kind of the long way.
Yeah, and it's so fast to do it in Inventory Lab, so fast.
All right. I got to do it that way. I got to go fill in. I didn't fill in like October, November, December of this last year because
after this show, I'll give you a quick refresher.
Perfect. Advertising, same thing. Like if you run ad campaigns, you may want to, just track how much you're spending there. For me, a lot of these like advertising storage and labor spent, feedback, IPI score, it's not that imperative really to track it, really. But for me, it's more of once a month, I look at it. So I am forced to look at what was my feedback for the month. And that then in turn, if I have any negative feedback, it allows me, it makes me look at it and address it so I don't miss my time period to address it. Same with the IPI score. If I notice that I'm getting lower on my IPI score, then I can maybe go in and make some inventory changes, and it just makes you look at it. Same with storage fees and advertising. Those two things can creep up on you if you're not paying attention to them.
And the thing is that it allows you to look at a glance. So if you see like, wow, I spent $500 this month on advertising, but I normally spend only $300 a month. Does it also compare to my sales? Did the month's sales also go up tremendously? So was that $500 spend helpful or was it more detrimental? So exactly. It just gives you like, you can really see the trajectory of your business. Is it going up? Is it going down? What areas are headed in the right direction when you can see all of your numbers on a page?
Yep. And really, just looking at this dashboard once a month, it's just at a glance, you can see all these numbers, you put everything in. It doesn't take long to do. So this is where everything's kind of tied to. And the cells that are either yellow or white, you fill out. I had to do some things so I can make sure that the links were working. That's why you see 1, 2, 3s put in here. And then the blue ones just are calculations. So leave them alone. You don't have to fill anything that. So all this one is doing for average sales per day is taking your total sales See, doing like that. And dividing by 31. Obviously, February should be 28, so we'll just put 28 there. And I like looking at some of this stuff. Items sent out, and then my sell-through rate is a calculation as well. How many items sold versus how many did I actually, because you don't ever sell 100% of what you send in. If you send in 100 items on Monday, they're not going to sell within the month. If you have a 50 to 80% sell-through rate, that's more common.
Yeah, if
And
you
of
guys
course,
click on there and change that formulation, it's not going to auto-populate it for you. Also, what you're filling out on this sheet populates onto that original page that we were just on, that Lucy is showing you. So everything you're filling out on these tabs, which are laid out for you, just automatically populates to her first page.
Exactly. So you just come in here once a month and you're going to put in your Etsy sales for April, and then it's going to show up on the other one. Lifetime sales. This one's kind of fun. I track both my items sold and my total sales. So that's kind of always fun to look at on how you've grown or what you're doing business wise, sale wise. I'm down this year versus last year, but that's because I got rid of my two main packers. So, I can explain the numbers. Oh, is it 29? Thank you.
And the other thing too, for those of you that want to get this sheet and you haven't been tracking your previous year's numbers, you can access them in your Amazon account. All you have to do is go in to your Amazon reports, and I'll tell you the name of it after I'm done. I'll go look, and you can plug in month by month and go back retroactively. It's very easy to access that part of your Amazon seller account if you don't know how. Go ahead and finish here, and I'm going to pull up what that report is.
Yep. I like to know my total of what's sold on Amazon, and this year I should hit $3 million. And that's just crazy. Like, to think that I've sold $3 million worth of crud on Amazon. I'm blown away by that. So anyhow, this just kind of tallies it up. You can go in and this is where you'd go put everything. This does not need to be populated. I forgot to.
So to access that report I was talking about, when you're in Amazon, you click on the hamburger in the left-hand corner. That's those 3 lines. I call it a hamburger. You scroll down to the reports tab. The second option is business reports. And that takes you exactly to your sales dashboard page where you want to be. And you will see drop-down menus that allow you to do a custom date range. So you can plug in from, January 1st of 2018 to January 31st of 2018. Or you could do it year by year, and you can fill in your missing years on that spreadsheet.
Yeah, exactly. All right. This is the tracking for Inventory Lab, and this is probably my sheet that I don't want to say I love this one the most, but this is the most helpful when I'm doing production and I'm looking at my goals and forecasting. So if I need to make, we'll just say $100 a month, and I know I make $2 an item, then I need to sell 50 items, right? And if I know my sell-through rate is 80%, then I need to send in more than whatever I just said, 50 items, to then sell 80% to get the calculations going. And if I know how much I need to sell per month, then I can break it down week by week and say, okay, that means I need to sell, we'll just say 100 items per week. And if I can averagely pack 20 items an hour, then I can say, okay, that's going to be about 5 hours worth of work. And then you can plan your schedule around it. So this has been imperative to my business to kind of know, what do I need to shoot for at the end of the week? If, have I gotten the amount of items out that I need to get out to make my goals work? So
and when you guys hear me talk about Finance Friday every Friday, for those that are regular watchers, part of my Finance Friday routine is filling in this page right here. Lucy, I think, does it like every time you do a batch, you update that number, I believe is how you do it.
Yeah, just
I
copy
do
and
not
paste.
because, I'm older than Lucy and I do old people things. So I have a composition notebook in my office where I do my shipments. And in my composition notebook, at the end of every batch that week that we do, I write it down on a piece of paper. That's what I mean by old school, old people stuff. I write it on paper. And then when Finance Friday comes, I go ahead and calculate up all of those batch totals and enter it in that week's column every single week.
Yeah, Millennial Mom says she's going to have one of her VAs do some of this. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of it's just plugging in the numbers so that you have it. I have toyed with that idea, but kind of like the way that it forces me to look at those numbers because that's what you're supposed to be doing on a monthly basis. But absolutely, when my when my gals did the batches, they filled in all this stuff. They just copied and pasted over when they were done with the batch, paste over the numbers so that they had that, and their goals were based off of this too. And we had it out on the whiteboard that if I have 2 people packing, I need to get out. It's always been somewhere between 500 and 1,000 items a week. So, if I have 2 people packing, there's really no reason why they can't get out 500 to 800 items every week. And if you have a third-party packing place, that's absolutely same kind of scenario. You need to hit certain numbers so that you can pay them and hit your goals. And then you just backtrack it. So if I know I need to get out 800 items and my average cost of goods is $4 a piece, then you know how much you're supposed to be spending or sourcing that week, whether you're doing an item based or profit based.
And then when
Either
you're
way.
looking on the other tab where it shows you that turnover ratio,
Mm-hmm.
then you want to pay attention to that, because when we're talking about our budgets, if I'm supposed to get out 50 units a week, but my turnover for sales isn't high enough, I'm really not making enough money to then, amp it up to 60, or to maybe even keep up with my 50 items a week. And so what that makes you do is take a look at, what am I sourcing? And then you want to go into Inventory Lab and you want to look at your ACE and sold for the last 30 days and really start to hyper focus on what items are bringing me in the most money. What items am I selling that could possibly be replens that I just overlooked them being replens? And these are the things that I do personally every Finance Friday. And that's why, and again, it's part of my control freak nature of me wanting to plug in the numbers myself and not someone else, not a VA, is because it's like I'm submersed in it, like I'm swimming in my own numbers, right? Because it has caused me to really hyper focus on, is it my bundles giving me the most money? Is it food products? Is it, I really want to get the most bang for my buck. And we all find the sale items we want to sell. We all have those experiment items we want to sell. Like, I want to try this. It looks good, but I've never done it before. I'm going to try it, right? We have those items. Well, then Inventory Lab can help us analyze what were the winners and the losers that month. And that has allowed me to increase my revenue and have a better sell through rate. But honestly, it's all with the help of me tracking my numbers in this sheet to really step back and look at things differently, analyze them differently, but more easily.
Yeah. Well, and I also like when I'm looking at the month and I'm like, okay, because right now we're getting Valentine's Day out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going, okay, and then it's going to be Easter, and February is a short month. And if I want to take a week off or, go to a convention or, my kids have something going on, you can kind of plan your production around that. Now, this page, you could easily copy and make a duplicate of it and do this for eBay, Etsy, Mercari, graphic design shirts, whatever you want, because
Mm-hmm.
the sales value, the buy cost, the net profit, and the total items is fairly
Applies to all
similar
of them. Yeah.
for any of those. So if your eBay goal is to list 10 items a week, then that means by the end of the week, you should have 50 listed. And then I don't know how you do it, but some people do all of their photo shoots on one day and all their listings on one day and all their drafts on one day, and however you want to do it. But you can track how much you get done and really push yourself, because if you just add, there's a couple of famous books out there. The Goal is a really good one. And then there's something about adding just 1%. I want to say it's Oh, the name of it's right. It's not a habit one. Shoot. Y'all know what I'm talking about, I'm sure, where if you just do 1% better every day by the end of the year, it's something crazy statistically. So your goal should be just to get a little bit better every single day. So if you start off at the beginning of the year and you're comfortable listing 20 eBay items a week, maybe your goal by the end of the year is to double or triple that. And you can break that down. You can say, okay, this week my goal is 20, but next week it's going to be 22. And the next week it's going to be 26. And the next week it's going to be 30. And, scale that way. Then I threw this together. I don't know if y'all want to track. I just put this in because sometimes it's nice to know expenses for that back calculating goal. Because if you know that your monthly expenses are, I don't know, we'll say $200 between Inventory Lab, Keepa, your Amazon, whatever.
Your tools, all of the things.
Tools, then you can see what do you need to make before you start making profit. So
absolutely. And this is such an important page. And, and I want to elaborate on that a little bit, is all of us have some type of tools that we use. Most of us have Keepa and Inventory Lab off the bat, right? So that costs a certain amount. And so you have Be Cool, you have Keepa, you have Inventory Lab. You also, for sellers that, have the higher selling threshold, who are required to have insurance, you have your insurance. Now, whether you pay that insurance annually or monthly, if you pay it annually, I would recommend you divide that annual payment by a monthly amount. You also have your quarterly taxes that you send in. So you should also have that. I track all of that. That's what I personally track. So then I also have those quarterly taxes. So I have that broken down by each month. And each month I set aside that money to pay my quarterly taxes. You also are going to have what your CPA cost you at the end of the year to do your taxes. If you take all of the fees that you pay, not only monthly with subscription services, but also like the bigger expenses like your taxes, your CPA, your bookkeeper, your insurance, and you divide all of these things by 12, you can get an accurate financial number of what it costs you to run your business per month. So then everything after that number is what is your money to allocate to buying more inventory and paying yourself out of, if you are paying yourself from your Amazon business. So that's just something that I do and how I look at my numbers.
Yep. FYI, if you do a bookmark, do the bookmark on the page you want to open. Otherwise, you'll always open on another page. That's just a little tip there. I always send a bookmark on not the page I want, and then I'm like, I got to delete the bookmark and then go rebookmark. But that is besides itself.
Now, for those of you who don't use Google Sheets, one thing I want to point out, because I know sometimes I feel like Lucy takes Google Sheets for granted because she's so good at them. Lucy's the one that put in the calculations in this sheet, not me. I'm just good at using it, right? But Lucy, so sometimes Lucy takes for granted, what is so easy to her is not for the rest of us. But if you could pull up the Google Sheet again, I want to point out something for those who are not Google Sheet savvy. Just these little tricks that I've learned over time is like so eye-opening for somebody like me. Now, of course, to me, this would be something I guess you could say I take for granted because this is just basic, easy skills. But that little plus sign down at the bottom to the left, if you click on that plus sign, you can create a new sheet and you can label it whatever you want. So see how that's sheet 4. So you can name that, Tina's notes or whatever, where you can create a notepad. So now you can also drag it down to the very end so it's not mixed in with all of Lucy's sheets. And then now this page can be like your note tab page where you can put your ready links that are easy to take you to your eBay reports or your Mercari, wherever you want to do. If you want to write notes in here, don't forget to order my replens. I don't care what you want to use it for, but this is something where you can add a page yourself. And I know that is super elementary. So for those of you who are savvy at Google Sheets, I apologize. But for those of you that are like I once was, you're welcome.
None of my things are super intense, and if you do control tilde Oh, you'll see like I missed April. How did I miss April? I talk about Aprils all the time, which is crazy. There we go. You can see that none of my stuff is really that great. Did you seriously? How did this Okay, I'll fix those two things. Like how did 4 not do it here? Love it. Anyhow, I will get those fixed right now as we speak. Is it just me, or let's see, I'm only a minute. Is the QB to TurboTax integration overly complicated when they're both owned by Intimate? It always seems like it's overly complicated, but I don't know. I don't work with either of those enough to know if it's super complicated. Google Sheets is not better. Let me tell you, I have had a struggle learning because like a lot of these cells in the KPIs go horizontally, and Google Sheets does not have a way to go down that line. So I've had to manually do a lot of the cells, which is irritating as all get up. If anybody knows how to do that, please let me know, because I was very frustrated with that this week. Excel is far superior in terms of commands. If you are a spreadsheet person, Excel is 100 times better on those little nuances. And just like charts are overly stupid in Google Sheets. But I'm an Excel person, and it just has so much more versatility to it. So Google Sheets is nice, though, because then you can have it everywhere you go. And I love having that for business. And it started off, I don't know, a decade ago when I was in the PTA, and we needed to have sheets, and we'd have a thumb drive. And it was always like, who has the thumb drive to print out the flyers this week? And we started going to the Google Sheets. And I'm like, this is great, because then, Tina's running the movie night tonight, and I can go in and just set up the movie night flyer, and then she can just access it and print it out. And we don't have to thumb drive, put this thumb drive all around. And then people would make, copies of the thumb drive, and then it'd be different versions of the sheet through everybody's house. It was utterly ridiculous. Same with business, though. I have a laptop here, a laptop out there, a computer out there, a computer at home, and then my husband looks at the dashboard, which I think is important to bring up too. If you have business partners, like I have one of those Score Mentor coaches, which thank you, Tina, for bringing that to the channel last year. And so he's always like, well, what was this number? And I'm like, boom, right there. I got it. I know exactly what my numbers are and what they were trending. And then we can look at kind of low hanging fruit and be like, okay, we need to dial back storage fees or dial back advertising, and or see if it's given me a good bang for a buck. And if you just start doing things with your business that are goal related, such as sitting in higher dollar items, focused on things that are more profitable versus the lower hanging fruit. If you just go into your inventory and cut out the bottom 10% and focus on increasing the higher ones, you're going to see a shift in your business. Yes, my Score Mentor is local to me. I really like it. He's a financial guy, an older financial guy. He ran like some banks or something. So he's very savvy when it comes to analyzing P&Ls and balance sheets and stuff. But he's also kind of interested in the reselling business, and he finds that kind of interesting. So we have some good discussions. Our meeting's next Monday. Bolo groups. Yeah, why don't you talk about that for a second, Tina?
Yeah, so we have a member Bolo group where each of us share one Bolo a week. During Christmas, we were doing 3, but now that Christmas is over and things are not as abundant in the stores, we lower it to just one Bolo a week. I do more than that a week in the Bolo group, but our Bolo group is $30 a month to be in. Everything is put onto a big master spreadsheet for you, and we pay a VA to help with some additional Bolos. And then we also have a few openings left in our VA group, and I think that one is $120 a month, is it? $120 a month for our VA-led group. And the VA spits out, I would say on average, like 17 leads a day we share in there. So if anyone is interested in joining either of those groups, the link for the Google Sheet, which is $5, if anyone is interested in that, the link for all of those things are down below in the subscription box if anybody is interested in any of those things.
Yes, and I was just going to bring up that Bolo group tab real quick to go over.
Yeah, Eminem, if you haven't gone on to the SCORE website, I think you were on the show that day when we were talking about it. It is absolutely free, and they are usually always people in your city and state. I believe if they are not in your city, they are generally in your state. They try to keep it local. It's a great program. They have mentors in every category you could think of, and it's really cool. It's a really cool free program that everybody should take advantage of.
It's free, and I mean, it's really good, and it's helped me be accountable and kind of brought some insight on different things to think about or look at, and
Like
just
having a little life coach, huh?
yeah, have somebody to talk to. All right, I brought up our Bolo group. I blacked out what today's Bolos are. Right, today's the God. It's already the 12th, Tina.
I
I got a lot of
know.
stuff to do because I got taxes to do. I don't like taxes. I hate taxes. I hate everything about doing taxes. It's always so complicated. So we've got, I can't scroll down, but there's always several leads going on here. Just on this one, it's 12. No, minimum. How much is the number? Count 12. So there's over 12 leads just for today. I didn't scroll down to see how many exactly we're going on here. Looks like we got Target, Vitacost, and Walgreens on the radar today, but every day they're just a little bit different. And I
Yeah,
like
it's usually a mixture of higher and lower dollar leads. That way you can have higher and lower dollar things that you buy.
Yep. What's the average? The average lead is $5 profit today. We've got, what is the average ROI? The average ROI today is 80%, 79.5. So, there's a little bit of something for everybody. And then we've got like the rules, the rank guidelines. We've got unapproved stores and approved stores. So if they start, we've had people say like, go ahead and stop sourcing from this store, or can you add this store? Yeah, I certainly can, April. And we have
Yeah,
followed.
April, below in the comment of in the description part of our video are the links. Do you have them? Because I didn't save them to be able to put here in the chat.
I got it. That's easy. There we go. This is the 120 a month. So let's see here. At least there's been over 10 leads.
There's always over 10 leads a day, always.
Yeah. And we do limit it. So we limit it quite a bit. All right, now I got to unblack before somebody messages me. Like, why did you do that?
Yeah, on average, there's about 75 leads a week in the VA group.
There were 16 today. How many was yesterday? 14 yesterday. So, what is that, 30 leads? So we're averaging pretty good here.
Yeah.
Pretty good. And I have told people this in coaching calls before. If you're new to Amazon and you're like, I want to do retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, I just don't know kind of where to start or some guidance, it's really good to join or buy at least one lead sheet. It doesn't have to be from us per se, but I really got a good list of names where to source off of a sheet early on.
The types of items or brands of items.
Yeah.
Sometimes those can turn into wholesale accounts, certain websites or certain certain brands. Maybe it's a brand of something from Walgreens and you go to that brand's website. Maybe they offer wholesale. You just have to really go down those rabbit trails. And as far as like the member Bolo group, after Q4 is over, we get into January, February. Sometimes getting leads or finding new replens can be hard, and things just aren't as abundant as they are all during Q4, and we hit that lull, especially after the holidays. So that's where having the member Bolo group can sometimes kind of amp up your thoughts of buying things you hadn't thought of looking at before.
Yep. And it gives you a good boost. I just really like learning which stores to get to and which stores maybe not to get to. I used to do a lot at, what's that crud? It's not a Tractor Supply place, but it was really popular. Fudge. I'm on too many drugs.
Too many drugs
drugs
and pills to remember. But it was a store like that. Is it
it was an online one, and a lot of people
Farm
could
and
go
Fleet,
to it.
maybe? That's kind of sounds like Tractor Supply.
Yeah, the feet one. What
Farm and Fleet, it's called.
Farm and
I had never heard of that one until last year.
Yeah, then there's another one that's like that one, that's like Farm and Fleet. And if you have them in your local area, there's like a ton of stuff. But for me, shipping was always an issue, getting them to ship and getting it not to be totally broken and crummy. All right, sheet is all fixed up. Leads we talked about. Oh, what are we doing for Easter? Can we talk about Easter, or what are we doing for the rest of this?
On Easter yet. I barely just recovered from doing Valentine's Day bundles.
I haven't even gotten all mine. Mine are supposed to be delivered today.
Oh, okay. I maybe didn't do as many as you, or you ordered later than me. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I ordered later. I don't know. I just can't do it before Christmas. I struggle. Cannot do Valentine's Day before Christmas. There's like something internally wrong with that. I know I should.
It is hard. And I didn't go as deep on Valentine's this year because I tried different Valentine bundles that I wouldn't normally have done. I kind of gave up my normal go-tos, which are super easy. You would think I would have just added those in too, but I thought, I want to up the ante a little bit. I want to try something different this year. So fingers crossed that works out well.
Are you doing any chocolates?
Yes, I have some chocolates. You have to have chocolate for Valentine's. I mean, that is Valentine's.
Yes, you do. Is there any Bolos for? Hold on.
Well, I found one really good Bolo for chocolate, but I shared that in the Bolo group, so I can't share that here.
Absolutely. Okay. I cannot navigate. Pardon me, guys. What else were we supposed to talk about, though, Tina?
That was it for today. That was really our whole agenda of topics today.
Golly.
And for those of you watching, what do you guys think of the Google Sheet?
Why does it do that? My computer is being really bad. I wanted to look at chocolates and see what's the trending chocolates. Farm and Fleet. Yeah, there's another one, though, that starts with an M.
Menards.
Thank you. That's a weird name.
See, Lucy's always got, this is the way Lucy and I are even off of YouTube. We're talking. She can never remember things, and she'll be just like that. I know it's an M, and then I'll pop out with what it is. It's like if we were ever on a game show, we would really be good.
You don't want me on a game show. I can't remember nothing.
Yeah, but that's the point is I do. All you have to do is drop that little clue and I'll know.
You win the money and then come back and share. Oh, wow. That one's a nice one. $25. That could be something. What is trending? Russell Stovers. Oh, Russell. What else do we got? Love You Bears. I thought about doing men's Valentine's Day bundles this year. This is the Dollar Tree. This bundle's been around for
I
like
like the idea
ever.
of doing things geared toward the male audience, because I think that the competition is a lot less fierce. Those Elmer chocolates right there, those are Dollar Tree. That the
I
4 pack
know
of those.
this. Seeing if they're still
I
profitable
think
because
they
it's
have like 3 chocolates inside of each box.
yep. You make $1.62. I've done that bundle. I have sold it. It's probably a very old one. But if you're looking, it's 34%. You make $1.62. I don't know. Hello Kitty. I love Hello Kitty. Yeah, the men's one is interesting. I'm wondering what the traffic is like for men's ones. These I think are dollar store too.
Did you type in men's Valentine Day gift?
I
But
did.
probably you're not going to get chocolates. You're going to get like other stuff. Oh, look at that top row right there. That's hysterical and nasty all at the same time.
We went right down the wrong path for live TV. We need to go down. What is this? Personalized. I don't want to have my face on underwear.
See, and it's like, and if you put something less humor, if you put something more romantic, it looks like you're not going to have a lot of competition. So if you made a more romantic, traditional type of Valentine bundle for a guy, I think that could really be a winner because look at what you're competing against.
Yeah, definitely something to be had.
And think about
Okay,
what you put your
Tina,
boyfriend or your husband, put that together and sell it on Amazon.
would you put your face on underwear?
No, that's just corny to me.
Can you imagine if that wound up like at the Goodwill?
That's for younger people.
But could you imagine finding that if you're at the bins or something and then you find
Oh
it,
yeah.
you recognize them? I like the Bigfoot. Or socks. Like, I just don't. I'm not putting my face on any of that junk.
Now those dice right there where it's fast food, Mexican sushi, you think there goes a bundle for a guy right there with a cup. Did they actually gear that for a guy? Look at that easy moo in the middle.
Yep.
That looks like the cup and are those actually geared toward a guy?
Yeah, it is. It says all for men, for men, for men.
See, and that's more like the little tasteful thing. What's in those love capsules? Is it like a note? I don't get
Message inside.
that. Oh,
I don't know. You get a message. It's like a fortune cookie.
yeah.
This is not hard to put together.
No. I don't know that that's a masculine looking cup. I don't see my husband carrying that one around, but you could elaborate off of something like that and make it a little bit more masculine.
Yep.
And think about what does your guy like? Because chances are other guys out there like that thing too. Is it motorcycles? Is it, beer bottle openers? Do they like bourbon? You can create a really nice masculine bundle.
So they had duct tape and camo hearts at Walmart. And I thought about doing something out of that and I did not. I'm getting a whole lot of not
masculine things. Maybe you could type in, like masculine Valentine gift. But look, it looks like this is a really untapped bundle category here on Amazon. If we're talking, doing bundles, there's a guy Valentine box. One has the beer, one has the football. I think those are from Walmart.
Yeah, I think Walmart had a football one. It was like in the shape of, or looked like a football. And they had the duct tape and they had the camo.
And they
like,
that Jack Link's beef jerky one, I always think for a guy on that one as well.
I'm surprised they don't have it on here.
Mm-hmm.
Was trying to do my research.
That's a really great idea for doing bundles.
Well, it's my idea.
It's
Okay.
mine now. Nobody can have it but me. Stay away.
Oh, what's hot for Easter this year? And are you doing any Mardi Gras? Is Mardi Gras? Does anybody do Mardi Gras?
I have done very little Mardi Gras. I have done it in the past. It's a very quick holiday. And it's too soon to talk about Easter today.
It
We're
is
at the
not.
end. We're at the end part of our show. We don't need to get down an Easter trail.
I like the Easter bunny with a little heart on his bum. That one is cute. You can look at it. What are you doing for the rest of the day? Maybe we'll talk about that
We can talk about that.
before I die here. What are you doing for the day?
Well, it's Finance Friday. I'm doing that. I did not go grocery shopping on my grocery shopping day, so I'm doing that after our live first. But very first and foremost, as soon as we hang up here on our show, I'm going to show you how to get to your storage reports in Inventory Lab so you can fill in your sheet. All right, you guys, thank you for joining us today. If you haven't, give us a thumbs up on our channel, a like and subscribe. If you are interested in the groups or the sheet, the links are in the description of this video. And we thank all of you for joining us every Friday. We really appreciate you being with us. Have a great weekend, everyone.